Hey y'all, welcome to the family that reads a lot. So I have a fairly hefty stack of books today. I also have a microphone that I'm hoping is going to clear up the audio issues I've been having, but it's also very weird to have it touching me, and I'm wondering if it's going to give feedback and stuff. So we'll see how this goes. But I know the audio's been really wonky and not reliable, so hoping that this helps. But let's just get into the books because normally I've said that I'm going to keep it to 5 books, but I've kind of been pushing these videos around because had some holiday stuff, some fun stuff, just random things. And these are going to have more than 5 books, but I think they're all worthwhile, worth talking about. So I'm going to start with the first one. This is one that most people have read. This is a new series to me. This is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Obviously, this has been turned into a Netflix series. There was like a whole thing, booktube, book talk, all the stuff. Like it was a thing. I was not around for the thing. I wasn't back into reading as much then. I'd seen it like on shelves for sale, but not a lot of details on it. And I'll be honest, it didn't meet the hype for me. I enjoyed it in general. I read through it fairly quickly, I think less than a week. And I felt myself drawn in at certain points, but I just didn't love it. Like it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I've got to continue the series. Like the way that it wrapped up, so try not to give a lot of spoilers, but the way that it wrapped up left me feeling satisfied enough that if I don't finish the series, I don't think it's going to hurt my feelings. And honestly, I'm bad about going in and reading a little bit about the books to come after I finish a book. I honestly don't know that they're going to make the wrap up better. I feel like it may leave it weirder. I don't know. So I'm looking for opinions. If you read the whole series, did you love the rest of it? Did you wish that you'd left off at book one? What's your opinion? Because this one I'd say is a solid 4 stars for me. Like I said, it was good. Now, it is me realizing partly that there's a lot of YA out there that I don't love. I don't really do the angsty thing anymore. There was a point in my life where that would draw me in super fast, but now the angstiness of some of it just kind of wore me down, and I was like, okay, I'm 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 not there with you. I'm ready to be done. Like her going to the school to start learning magic and stuff like that. I was kind of hyped for that, but then it didn't really live up to my expectations. It was more, I don't know, I got kind of lost in her personal monologue, and I didn't love it. Okay, that's where we're at. I didn't love it. If you love the rest of the series, think I should read it. If you read it and don't think I should read it, just give me your opinion because I'm curious. Okay, the next one was I need to do a better job of screening books for myself instead of taking other people's opinions just off of booktube or book talk or whatever. This is The Witch Haven by Sasha Peyton Smith. This is another YA, and I'm hoping between these 2 books it doesn't ruin me on YA for a while. This one was really, really YA. Like it was so angsty and whiny. Um, I wanted to love the main character in this. I did not. I wanted to love the magical school because that was what I had heard about it, was that it was she was taken to, so the main character um is involved in a murder. She ends up getting taken to a sanitarium by what she thought is the police, finds out it's not the sanitarium, it's actually a school for witches. So I was all in. I was like, that sounds amazing. That sounds fun. That sounds awesome. Well, no. Um, it's really very, very little about the school for witches. The school is very negative. The situation is very negative. Also, simply for me, There were the token characters and situations that I don't care to read about that are put in every single YA book now just to be thrown in there. And they're thrown at the end as like, oh, by the way. And I don't love that. It's not my thing. Don't love it. So this book was very much a 3-star. I wanted to read it. I wanted to know what happened. So she had me there. She had me wanting to know what was going on. But then, like, the middle 200 pages of this book were so slow and boring and angsty and just not at all what I was looking for. I was looking for a fun, happy, witchy school academia book thing to start my fall. This was not it. So did not enjoy this book, would not recommend this book. Everybody has their own opinions, so it might be for you, but it was not for me. Now, winner, winner, chicken dinner out of the books that I have read, because this is always going to be a combo of what I've read and what my kids have read. This is actually a middle grades. This is Seekers of the Wild Realm by Alexandra Ott that I pre-read for my daughter. Thinking that this was just going to be simply a quick pre-read for her. This was a good book. I really enjoyed this book. It had some awesome world building. It had good characters. It had nothing negative or angsty or just over the top. I would definitely call this more of like a, not necessarily a young middle grader, because it is a hefty book. It's almost 400 pages, but it was not a hard read. There was nothing in here that made it difficult. The main girl in this book is 12-year-old Bryn. Her father was a seeker, which are the people from this community that are chosen to caretake the magical creatures. So there's dragons, there's Greer puffs, I'm not sure how you say it. There's like snow foxes, I think, and a fire cat thing. It was super fun. My daughter is gonna eat this book up. She is gonna love this. I can almost guarantee it. And my son asked if I thought he would like it, and I said, yeah. Like, I get that the main protagonist or whatever is a girl, but there's a boy in here who's a really good character. I just really enjoyed the book. It had, like, now, okay, the one thing I will say, there's some sneaking out at night and sneaking around the parents' backs, but it's not to do anything truly negative. It all ties into the story. So you're going to have some of that in a middle grades book. If you're totally against that, then obviously don't let your kid read it. But just really enjoyed this book. Want to get my hands on the second one. 5-star. I'm going to give this one to my daughter and my son, and I like it. Now, the only sad thing for me, I think there's only 2 books, which can be good, but it can be bad, because I would really enjoy much more exploration of the characters and the wild creatures of that, because I really enjoyed that. So I'll jump over to the 2 that my daughter read. So son is 11, daughter is 8, both solid middle grade readers. He is a very advanced middle grade reader. She is just getting into middle grades, but is loving the more developed stories of middle grades. So this one is not a middle grades. This is a school book for her. This is Race the Wild Arctic Freeze. It's just a group of kids that are on a team that are going around the world. There's 6 books in the series. They go to 6 different, basically like biomes, and have to solve these puzzles and things to win the race. It's a lot of fun. She's really enjoying them. This goes with our world geography that we're learning this year. And she's really enjoyed these books. So, oh, and that's by Kristin Earhart. This one is the second one in a series. This is A Dash of Magic by Kathryn Littlewood. This is in the Bliss Bakery series. She read the first one, gobbled the book up, loved it. She read this one. It took her quite a bit longer. I do sit and listen to her read sometimes in the evenings, and the vocabulary in this book is pretty advanced. Now, there was, I think, some French mixed in because I think it's set partially in France. Um, so that was part of it. Yeah, it's talking about the Cathedral Notre Dame and different things. It's all set in Europe, but I think mostly in France. And there was some hefty vocabulary in here. I would consider this an upper middle grades, not because of the content. The content was just fine. Um, but the vocabulary in here can get pretty tough. However, she really enjoyed it. She wants to read the third book. It just slowed her reading down a little bit. So I'm ready for her to take a break for a minute and read stuff that's a little quicker for her to finish and enjoy pushing through some books. And then I'll get her the third one of these. So, but she enjoyed those. She's enjoyed that series. Now, on to the three that my son read. So, this one I talked about before. It's Amari and the Great Game. This is the second book in the Amari series. He enjoyed this book. He gave it a four. What did he give it? 4.5 stars. So he enjoyed this one, but like me, he didn't enjoy it as much as the very first book. I do plan to get the third book that I think just came out. So let me go back to the author. This is by B.B. Alston. Same thing. He likes the world building. He likes the initial introduction to the people, the world, all of those things, a lot like me. And he said that this one just kind of didn't have that. And that was kind of my feeling on this book. I think I rated it a little lower. I think I rated this like a 4. It was good. I read through it quick. So did he. We didn't love it, but we didn't hate it. So we'll get the third one. I don't know if this is going to be like a 3-book thing or if this is going to carry on for a long time. So I don't know how long it will hold our attention to continue to get the books, but we're going to get the third one since it did just come out. This is his Warrior series that he's still going through. This is Warriors of Forest Divided. He said it's solid 5-star. It's a good Warriors book. It is what it is. He loves these books. He's still continuing through them. We were at the bookstore the other day. I think that video will come out here shortly. And of course, he finds the Warriors thing. Now, I will tell you, I'm very glad that I did not purchase these books, that these are library books for us, because there are so many books. He was taking me in the video, taking me through all the different series. And it's like, okay, there's 7 or 8 in this one, and there's 10 in this one, and there's however many in this one. And this one comes first, and then second and third. And I think there were like 6 or 7 of them. And I was like, holy cow. Like, I bought him the first book to get him started. And thankfully we have the library because we could have spent probably over $1,000 at this point on these books, but he has enjoyed them. And his last one was just an NFL encyclopedia. He likes these kind of sports informational type books. So yeah, we've been reading through a lot of books. I feel like between The Witch Haven and Lines of Courage that I read a couple weeks ago, I almost hit a reading slump. There got to be a point where it was kind of just felt bogged down, didn't really want to pick up a book. With The Witch Haven, I actually set it aside, read a whole nother book, and then went back and finished it because I did want to know what happened, but I just couldn't care that much about the people. So I'm going to try and be a little pickier about the books that I'm reading and make sure that I am doing my due diligence and looking into them first. Because there's one that I grabbed at the library the other day, read the back of it. I was like, oh, okay, this sounds interesting. And did a quick Google search on it. And I was like, no, there's a lot of stuff in here that I do not care to read about, that is not for me. And I need to set this aside because it's just going to have a negative effect on my reading experience. And so I'm really looking for some really good books. So if you have some recommendations, especially around the fall season, I'm still trying to get into that fall vibe. It was 98 today here, so struggling a little bit. But want to have some good fall reads still for the month of October, trying to fill out my October thoughts as far as my TBR. um, and find some good books. So if you have any recommendations, that would be great. Like, subscribe, come back. I'm going to have another what we read pretty soon, because we are, all of a sudden it seems to be like we're chewing through books really fast again. And that's exciting. I'm glad, especially for me, because like I said, I felt a reading slump coming on and was not happy because I didn't want it. So yeah, it's good to see y'all. Now, y'all go read a lot.